Actually, it's my second runner, and all I learned was that we were in real trouble because I figured that the system of democracy was pretty broken at that stage. And then I've watched it get worse and worse, and I started doing things like trying to help people, trying to set up markets, doing animal rescue, doing rescues in fires and floods because the government are too late and too slow. And I've kept doing it, and I don't seem to be able to give up because I care for you guys. And when I heard two things happened last week, there was a woman, I think she was 54, living hard on the streets. I know her story, I won't tell it. I don't have a right to tell it while she was living on the streets. And she got raped and bashed. And I cried about that. And then I got a phone call at 4 a.m. last week from some homeless people I know were helping out, and some young hoons had gone down there with fire bombs and they had run off from their tents and everything. They were terrified and scared. And I thought, that's not happening in my country. And then to find out that 10,000 a month are becoming homeless. And then you add in that Labor, who promised to lower migration to get elected and then just, as usual, lied. They've done this. And then we had the first rally about this, and there were 10,000 people, they reckon. It was a shitload of people, I thought. And that's how many people are coming into Australia every week. 10,000. And we don't have the homes. We just don't have enough. And now they're fast-tracking 15-storey single-bedroom units to house these people. I don't think that's right either. I don't like it. And then you go to the hospitals and they're running at 200%. Do you know what it means? It means that if the hospital could handle 500 people, they've got 1,200 there. And there's people getting pushed out early. And that's not resulting very well at all. This is nothing against our healthcare workers. This is just a simple numbers game. We need, for every 1,000 people that come here, we used to have 17 beds in our hospitals. Now we've got 2. And they say 4. Well, I'm happy to live with 4. So we really need at least 8 or 10 hospital beds per 1,000 people. And if they bring in 10,000 a week, how many hospital beds is that? Do you want to work that out? Because it's not just a few beds, it's whole hospitals. We need entire hospitals just here in South Australia, 2. At least 2 more. And by the time the government decide to build them and have them ready to operate, there's still not enough, because you have to stop the inflow first and catch up. And that's just common sense. It's not racist. You know, I'm family of migrants. We're all family in some way of someone that came here at another time. And we're not racist. I don't like being called racist. I didn't like the Premier calling me a racist. I don't like Albo calling us a racist. I don't like the media calling us racist. I don't like any of that. What I want to see is us standing like this more often. And we're going to have to obviously put more work into getting the message out so that more people can come, because I know that we represent 75% of Australians that care. And that's not just us. That's migrants too. And you know, I tried to make this really united. Hang on. Just a bit later. I tried to make this really united, so I met with lots of smaller groups. And they're worried about being labelled racist. I said, just bloody come, mate. You know, just bloody come. Because I met with them, they all agree with us. Where are they today? We can't change this country unless we stand up like this. This sends a message. It gets into the media. People start to talk about it. There's not another federal election for 2 years. If they keep bringing migrants at this level, what state will this country be in 2 years? What state? And it's not just the people that need a house. What about your kids? Can't they dream of home ownership? Can't they at least dream? You know, anyway, I could talk for hours about all this, but we're not just going to talk about this today. There's a few other topics we'll touch on. Ways of fixing democracy, for instance. Not so hard, we just got to all vote differently and vote informally. You need to know who's running. You know, every election, I've met some hell of a good people that have run. They haven't been elected very often, but there is good people out there that care for you that run. And then, of course, there's net zero. Now, how about kicking people while they're down? I don't know if there's a few people think it's just net zero. I'm not going to pay out whether you believe in carbon dioxide changing the world while you stand under these carbon dioxide storage devices that are giving you shade today. But I just want to say, it's not just the cost of your power. It's shipping, it's transport. Every single aspect of your life is getting expensive. I've run a business for 30 years. I struggle to meet the bills now, and I don't even have a mortgage. Can you imagine having a mortgage and having to pay those sorts of costs? Can you imagine people out there that can't put the heater on in the winter or can't, you know, this country's heading in the wrong direction. We own this place. The politicians seem to think that they own this country, and they seem to think that we don't know what's best for it, and that they'll just run it however they feel. We know what's best. We live in the society that's resulting from their decision making, and it needs to change. So, come on guys, spread the word. Let's make sure that if we have to do this again, then there's other things we can do as well. Okay, and I'm not talking about violence, I'm talking about if they will not listen to us, we as the people of Australia can shut this place down very, very easily. So give some thought to that, because I'm going to give you some ideas about that in the future. So let's get someone else up to have a chat.